Hey guys, I just got back from seeing Godzilla Minus One. Saw a pretty late showing. It was an early showing here in America. It started at 11 p.m. and ended around, I think I got out around 1:20. So this may have been the latest I've ever seen a movie at the theater, but man, I was not going to miss this. So even though it's late as hell right now, I am very, very excited. I mean, this was an amazing movie. Absolutely loved it. I think Oppenheimer is still my favorite film of 2023, but this is definitely number two. I just absolutely love this movie. And I've been a Godzilla fan for longer than I can remember. I probably discovered him in the early 90s because Godzilla was getting pretty big again in America, at least in the early 90s. Like they had the toys, they were releasing dubbed versions of the newer Godzilla movies and everything. And I just fell in love with the character right away. It was a combination of monsters and science fiction, and this is this boy stuff. And you could tell this movie was definitely made by a fan of the series. And I mean, it's definitely a boys' movie. I mean, it was really cool seeing all the gear porn and the planes, the ships, the tanks, and just all that, and how all these guys came together to basically save Japan. And just all these guys also trying to figure out how to stop Godzilla. I mean, it was definitely just an all out love fest for this genre of movies. And I just loved it, man. It was action packed. Godzilla was awesome. It took place a little bit after, well, I guess it actually starts off during World War II and then finishes up in 1947. So, you got a lot of World War II Japanese military equipment and planes and tanks and all that. So that was really cool. And you got a little bit of the Cold War seeping in. So that was really cool. Like political tensions and all that. And just everything about the movie was great. Like even the human characters, who are usually the weakest part of a Godzilla movie, were great. Basically, these people who survived World War II and just all the shit they were having to deal with, post-traumatic stress, survivor's guilt, just everything. And Godzilla has always been a symbol of, the horrors of nuclear war. But in this, he's actually, I think, a bit more than that. He's also a symbol of a creature that has been twisted and tortured and destroyed by war. And I think at the end, there's really that mutual respect between the humans and Godzilla. Because Godzilla in this is, he's just a killing machine. He just doesn't even really seem to think. He just comes across something, wants to kill it. And it's kind of creepy when he's walking around, stomping around. Most of the time, he's not even looking at the ground. He's just like a Terminator, just walking across Japan, destroying stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's by the end of the movie, I usually am rooting for Godzilla. I love Godzilla. So I'm usually wanting him to win and stuff. But in this, I'm just like, yeah, just put him out of his misery, man, because he's just so damaged and twisted. And I mean, he's almost like a pitiful freak of nature at the end. And it's just like, yeah, just give him peace, man. Just give him peace. But yeah, I mean, just everything with this movie was excellent. The acting, the music. I mean, it's crazy. They are using the Godzilla theme from the original Godzilla 1954. I mean, this theme is almost 70 years old and it's still great. I mean, and it's been in like every Godzilla movie, and it's still awesome. And the way they used it in this was great, and special effects were fantastic. I mean, Godzilla's movements sometimes were a little unrealistic, but when you consider this movie had a budget of $15 million, that's just insane how good this movie looks. I mean, it made me ashamed of American movies, just how wasteful and pitiful they are in comparison. I mean, you look at, I don't even know, the Marvels and all this shit that's coming out. I mean, it's pitiful. Oh, God, Indiana Jones, don't even get me started on that. And the Dial of Destiny, oh my God. I mean, this movie's special effects makes that look like shit. And those movies had, what, 20 times the production budget? 20 times. 20 times. I mean, it's insane. It's criminal. It's criminal. I really hope that Japan is proud of this movie because this is an excellent movie. It might be my favorite Godzilla movie of all time. I mean, it's just excellent. Great action, great characters, great story. Just, I absolutely love just everything. I mean, definitely, if you can, go out and see it. I think it's getting a decent release here in America. So, I just wanted to see it today, and yeah, I'm so glad I did. This was definitely a great movie. I mean, when what was it, the 2014 Gareth Edwards Godzilla movie came out, everybody was saying, "Oh, this movie's awesome," and da 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 da, and I go and see it, and I'm like, yeah, it's a Godzilla movie. I love Godzilla movies. I love James Bond movies, but you kind of have to know going into them it's going to be a little, don't have your expectations too high. It was like when Skyfall came out. Everybody was like, oh my God, this is a great James Bond movie, da da da. It should be nominated for Oscars, and I see it, and I'm like, it's a James Bond movie. But with this Godzilla movie, yeah, get your hopes up. This is a all around excellent movie, and I love it. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the series. I've seen most of the Godzilla movies. I own I don't even know how many, 20 of them. Most of the newer ones I haven't seen. Like, I haven't seen, King Kong versus Godzilla, the new one and stuff, or Kong versus Godzilla, whatever it's called. But yeah, so I definitely kind of want to go back and watch the ones I have not seen. Because I have seen most of the old ones, like when I was a kid. That's the ones I was watching. But there's still a lot of the 1990s ones I haven't seen and the early 2000 ones, so yeah, there's still a lot of them I need to see. I would say probably my favorite ones before seeing this one were the original 1954 Godzilla movie. Really good film, really good. And I would say the first Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla. I just love that one. I mean, that's just a brawl throughout the entire film. And I thought the human stuff in that one was kind of funny and interesting. Like, oh my God, I remember the one part where they needed to get out of a situation, so they just invented another character to save the day. I was like, oh my God. It's hilarious, hilarious. But none of that, campy shit. This is a full on, serious, almost like a war movie. I mean, it's just, yeah, hardcore, man, hardcore. So I'm going to try and get everyone to see this, and yeah, I loved it. I mean, hell, they had the Shinden fighter in it, for crying out loud. This movie's just freaking great, and yeah, I loved it. Love it. Can't wait to see what they're gonna do with the series. I know they're making another Godzilla American movie, but hate to be in that director's position because man, he's got to live up to Godzilla Minus One, and I do not envy that. I mean, this is like the end all be all Godzilla movie. And I guess it's technically a prequel to the original 1954 Godzilla movie, so that kind of makes it even cooler. Because this takes place in 1947, and I guess Godzilla comes back 7 years later. So, yeah, very cool, man. Very cool. But definitely see this if you're into kaiju films and whatnot. But if you just like good action movies, definitely see this. I love this movie.